Star Television, and you most welcome to our top stories making a local news bulletin. I am Leonora Jawala. The headlines. Director of Strategy, Engagement and Programs, United States of America, pays courtesy visits to Sierra Leone's Army Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Peter K. Lavahun. Metro Cable launches fiber network in Sierra Leone.
Cable has made it possible for affordable ultra high-speed broadband to reach the doorsteps of 200,000 plus homes and businesses in Freetown.
Sierra Leone's ambassador to the Arab Republic of Egypt held talks with the governor of Demeter, Egypt, aimed at discussing trade relations between the two countries. All these making the headlines. And now the news in detail. Brigadier General Peter Bailey, Deputy Director of Strategy, Engagement and Programs, United States of America, on Monday, October 17, paid a quarter visit to Sierra Leone's Army Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Peter K. Lavahun, at the Ministry of Defense, where he highlighted the biggest threats that are falling Sierra Leone in the area of transnational crime, cross-border issues, as well as issues under the maritime domain. Our defense correspondent, Abdulrahman Kamara, reports.
The commander of one of the 11 Unified Combatant Commands of the United States Department of Defense, headquartered at Kelly Barracks, Stuttgart, Germany, Brigadier General Peter Bailey, Deputy Director of Strategy, Engagement and Program, United States of America, on Monday, October 17, 2022, paid a courtesy visit to Sierra Leone's Army Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Peter K. Lavahun at the Ministry of Defense. In his welcome address to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Peter K. Lavahun, General Bailey highlighted the biggest threats that are falling Sierra Leone in the area of transnational crime, cross-border issues, as well as issues under the maritime domain, the COVID-19, sub-regional and global threats to the nation's economy. General Peter Bailey commended the effort of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces in the area of peace support operation training and training in counter-terrorism for junior and senior cadre in the military. Insert. On his part, Lieutenant General Peter K. Lavahun, on behalf of senior management at the Ministry of Defense and the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, thanked General Bailey for his timely visit to the Ministry of Defense and expressed his appreciation, noting the objective of a visit that focuses on crisis management, counter-terrorism, military cooperation and training. Insert. It could be recalled that it is the responsibility of the United States military operation to enforce fighting regional conflict and maintaining military relations with 53 African nations. Its area of responsibility covers all of Africa except Egypt, which is within the area of responsibility of the United States Central Command, otherwise known as US AFCOM, headquartered in Germany. Abdulrahman Kumar reporting.
In an effort to gear towards positive transformation and providing Sierra Leoneans with a strong, fast and reliable internet service, one of the biggest and fastest broadband internet service providers in the country, Metro Cable, has officially launched its fiber cable network at the Gardisimle Hotel in Freetown. With the theme, "Fiber Don't Come, It's Time to Feel It." According to the head of commercials, Metro Cable Network has made it possible for over 200 homes and businesses in Freetown to have affordable internet service in the country. Adonis Francis takes up the story.
Head of Commercial, Joe Meyer, welcomed everyone to the event, which he described as historic, stating that Metro Cable is a leading and most reliable internet cable in Freetown, which are providing services to more than 200 homes. He continued that they have completed 68% of the installation, referring to Freetown as a very large city, noting that it is a very big achievement for the education, health, and many other sectors within the country.
Metro Cable has made it possible for affordable ultra high-speed broadband to reach the doorsteps of 200,000 plus homes and businesses in Freetown, representing 68% completion in phase 1. Freetown is now a smart city, and with the Metro Cable infrastructure, our internet technology has made a giant leap compared to other first world countries that have gradually upgraded and followed the market trend from 3G, 4G, and so on. So coming from all this level to jump into high-speed broadband, that's a big, big achievement.
According to the representative of the House of Parliament, PC Baikobo, said it is a notable and a very important day for the nation because internet service is one of the essential services that the country rely on. He furthered that even though Freetown is not Sierra Leone, but everything starts from here, and so metro cables must consider the provinces.
This is a wonderful day for us in Sierra Leone, and for us to make good use of these. And we who are coming from the provinces, from the remote areas of the country, we are saying Freetown is not Sierra Leone. But everything starts from here, and we hope that definitely sooner or later they will be in Bo, in Kenema, in Makeni, in Maboka, even in my village in Basimbi, so that our children, our boys and teachers can do a good job to really give the opportunity to the children of Sierra Leone.
The chairman and executive officer of Metro Cable, Dava Fazai, noted that Metro Cable is the largest network SPN within the Mano River sub-region, stating that about 750 kilometers of fibers have already been completed. According to the chairman, one of the biggest lessons he has ever learned is thinking of something big and working towards it, and that's what brought about the Metro Cable in Sierra Leone. He continued that whatever you do have to create an impact in the lives of the people, wherein Metro Cable has already laid the foundation for the most affordable, fastest, and reliable internet connections in Sierra Leone.
The speech. Metro Cable is the largest single instance of privately owned FTTX network in the Mano River Union. 652 kilometers of fiber have already been completed. Entire network and ancillary POPs for our Metro network run on renewable energy. Another first I would like to say. Metro is powered all by the state-of-the-art Nokia transmission equipment and is backed up by the only fully green landing station out of 24 ACE members. 1.2 megawatts of installed renewable energy. As many of you know, I've spent the last 25 years or so in the United States, rebranding, rebuilding, relearning. One of the most valuable lessons I learned in the US is, and the best way I can describe it is, think of something big, really big, and just start.
The slogan, which says in Creole, "Fiber don't come." For Star News, Adonis Francis reporting.
Sierra Leone's ambassador to the Arab Republic of Egypt, Sadiq Sila, and delegation were received by Professor Manal Awad, first female governor of Demeter, Egypt, on Monday, October 10th. Now, the meeting is aimed at discussing trade relations between the two countries. Adonis Francis has more.
Sierra Leone's ambassador to Cairo, the Arab Republic of Egypt, Sila, and delegation were received by Prof. Dr. Manal Hawad, first female governor of Demeter Governorate and only female governor in Egypt, in the office of the governor in Demeter to discuss trade relations. Ambassador Sila expressed delight on his visit to Demeter Governorate and meeting with Prof. Manal Hawad, and emphasized Egypt's role as a leading and a prominent figure in the African continent. The ambassador complimented Demeter's status and what he witnessed from leading projects, noting his aspiration to achieve joint cooperation between the two countries. He concluded with a swap of shields by both Ambassador Sadiq Sila and Governor Prof. Dr. Manal Awad and Governor. For Star TV News in Freetown, Alusain Abubakar Bangura reported.
In case you've just joined us, you're still watching the local news bulletin here on Star TV. Now, the Executive Director, Youth Advocacy Network, Yakan, Hassan Fuad Kanu, at the official launch of Sierra Leone's 2022 Out of the Shadows Index Report at the New Brookfield Hotel in Freetown, called on the government to use this period to make changes and improve on their effort So Sierra Leone will be mentioned among countries working to improve the economic and social livelihood of children on the next index report. Here is more with Asenato Kamara.
The program was graced by the Deputy Minister of Social Welfare, civil society activists and other stakeholders. The focus of the event was on raising awareness on child sexual exploitation and abuse issues in Sierra Leone. Charles Vandy, the Director of Gender Affairs in the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs, noted that several mechanisms have been put in place in terms of policies and legislations to support the protection, welfare, survival and development of children.
We are now seeing a new wave of sexual exploitation. I mean, peer-to-peer sexual exploitation is particularly becoming prevalent as we speak. So we are hopeful at governmental level. Several mechanisms have been put in place in terms of policies, in terms of legislations that actually support the protection, welfare, survival, and development of children. And this is not the least to say that the laws dealing with like the Child Rights Act of 2007, which we have concluded the review, and the first signature has been done by a minister for it to be gazetted, but then we realized one or two areas needed to be done. So it is hopeful that before the end of October, the Child Rights Amendment Bill will be gazetted, that we now look at strengthening some of these measures. We already know that there is, when you talk about sexual exploitation, there is also a nexus between early or child marriage and that of sexual exploitation and abuse. So children below the age of 18 should not be given, should not be exposed to sexual exploitation and abuse. And in fact, the Sexual Offences Act and its amendment in 2019 is very clear to say nobody should have any sexual activity with a child below the age of 18. So that alone suggests that anything relating to sexual activity is not acceptable.
Hassan Fuad Kano, the Executive Director of Youth and Child Advocacy Network, mentioned the existing challenges children face on sexual exploitation and abuses, while stating the objectives of the 2022 Index Report in Sierra Leone. He called on civil society activists to support governments to get policies, strategies, and the right legislation that will strengthen the prevention.
And it's look at three key issues. One, it's about the prevention of abuse on children, what we can do in terms of legislation, in terms of programs, and also it also look at the area of holistic approach. That in everything that we do, how we think about the protection of children there, and what they do, and how they do that, how they do it, and the policies that governments have, how realistic are they towards the situation that are in the ground. And it's also talk about the response in terms of the judiciary, in terms of the welfare of children, in terms of other protection mechanisms that government is putting towards the protection of children. So we have seen a lot around the world, and we believe Sierra Leone is doing fantastically well in terms of our mechanism. Unfortunately, we are not mentioned among the 60 countries because it was only 60 countries that were IMAC on the first, another 60 countries on the second. So we believe with what we've seen today, and our governments will be able to pull up enough so that when they are trying to determine the next set of countries to be assessed, we will be among them. I think that is also one of the reasons why we're doing this. And one, we want to ask what we want to achieve at the end of the day. One, we want government to aware that that there are people who are looking at them on what they are doing towards children generally. And two, we want government to understand that we have been calling for the review of the Child Rights Act in Sierra Leone, not only because we want it in Sierra Leone, but because it's a global index to show that we have laws that are protecting our children. So we want them to be reviewed. We also want government to take into consideration recommendation that will be coming out of our assessment that we did on the child welfare policy in the country.
Ruti Caldera, the Senior Strategic Advisory of OOSI, explained the process of the 2022 Out of Shadow Index report, stating that there are numbers of factors that lead to child sexual exploitation and abuse. She said 60 countries were used for survey data and that in the coming years they would love to add other countries in their reports.
Sometimes there is this idea that to do things well and effectively, it requires a lot of investment. Well, here's a case that no, yes, we need investment. There's always more investment that should be made in terms of child welfare and protection, but there are a lot of quick fixes and wins that can also be put in place in order to ensure that children are more protected and that we are in a better position to respond to their needs in case they are actually exploited and abused. And I leave some space for you to ask any questions you may have.
Mohamed Haji Kella, Deputy Minister of Social Welfare, when giving his statement and launched the 2022 Out of Shadow report in Sierra Leone, said people usually confuse the term sexual exploitation with other abuses, adding that there are 3 key areas of abuse. He added that children were used as human shield during the August 10th event.
But the key thing that I would like to drive in are 3 key areas that clearly the research touched on. The Out of Shadows report made it very clear to us. But I also want to give, in terms of the Sierra Leone context and the cases that we really see. The first thing I want to really drive in is the ignorance or the lack of understanding of the law. I can assure you, Sierra Leone has no gaps in law when it comes to this. It is actually the interpretation and the understanding of the law on the individual level, the community level, the structural level, including the justice system itself. And the other limitation there is our systems and processes. We do have all the laws, but what processes do we have in place to ensure that they are effective? The next one we have is really, for me, the structural, or I can say the institutional apathy in respect to the abuse of children and the exploitation of children. The institutional apathy I'm talking about, I'm not calling out the police, but I'm going to call out the police.
For Star TV News, I am Hassanatu Kamara reporting.
Eager to contribute towards the development of the nation's human capital, the Chief Executive, National Public Procurement Authority, Ibrahim Maswari, has donated 5 tons of half-inch iron rods, 1 ton of 5x8 iron rods, and 250 bags of cement towards the construction of the Aberdeen Municipal Secondary School, noting that the school building projects, when completed, will create a lasting legacy for the government, and also, most importantly, a project that will create an opportunity for our children, particularly girls, to have the best education possible in the best affordable classrooms and schools. Abdurrahman Kamara first spoke to Ibrahim Maswari on the importance of the school project in this interview, including the principal of the school, as well as the Member of Parliament, Honorable Shahid Rahman Koka.
Today we just finished the project, so we don't start. We will do classroom for the community, inside the Aberdeen Community School. This project we don't start a few years back, and today we concrete the top floor. Although we start to do the top floor, as I mentioned earlier. And this particular project here, we will do for complement the efforts of His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Madabiro, and the new direction government. Because we know say we the SPP government we prioritize education, because we know the importance of we empower people in terms of the educational and area. So that I really need to decide to come up with this project also for do a 8-classroom story building for this community also, because Aberdeen community, we're not going to see your secondary school like also. Most of the picking them, we then sit to them Becker examination. The next thing that you do, like we move out of Aberdeen, for going to the senior secondary school. So we take up the responsibility for giving them 8 classroom-story building we serve that particular purpose with.
Well, if we all can recall 2018, when the president the campaign, he tell the people of Sierra Leone, say, when I told me president, I will give them free quality education. And free quality education entails a lot. One of the things that we want for super free quality education, and for make sure that the people can get accommodative atmosphere for let them live, conducive atmosphere for let them go to school. So if you see who they are today, the honorable, and because the president, he mean exactly what he been telling her 4 years ago, and what he tell her, now he helps Sierra Leone. And for let this country better, now all man go school. And for let all man go school, we need to provide this atmosphere. So if you see the honorable, they build a structure where it gets the blessing and the support of the president, and because we want the Aberdeen community. You know how much Aberdeen community means to her, and you know how much education comes in Aberdeen, how much it will be. When I say Aberdeen, and we want to talk about Aberdeen, you know, talk about Aberdeen, you left this school. Most of the big people in this community, in this school and come. But the unfortunate aspect right now, we see beginning at the kind of municipal and primary school, and then we see secondary to JSS 3, the kind they have coming. So this structure, the campus here will provide atmosphere where they go all the way for camp and reduce this money and afternoon shift. So this structure and for renovate this whole school under the leadership of His Excellency and the Honorable Sheriff from Mankoka is so important to the Aberdeen community. Be mindful, His Excellency did very well in Aberdeen and we want to maintain that relationship with the people.
Aberdeen Lumley Beach belongs to same constituency 133 where Honorable Sheriff from Mankoka they cover. We all there today for support the Honorable because we believe say this is not an endorsement of the President in free quality education. And the Honorable they bring this benefit come very close to we in the community. Additional classroom, basically what we do for we as benefit. It will make we move from the double shift system and get a single shift system where we will make the people able to study and be relaxed. And also expansion on the enrollment. We will make we get more girl child also in the school system. And we don't see the benefits of the fair quality education by the number of passes where they take place in the public exams. So we think say, this is a very good venture and we're all there around with the young people all over the beach for support the Honorable so that we will achieve this construction, this project, to make sure say, this school come to reality. I think that make we also, the beach community will always support the Honorable.
We really give thanks and praise to the SLPP government because time memorial, they don't come build this school, the parents and they suffer at the end of the day when they pick it from 3. Have to go back to another school, another community, so they may find it difficult. Now when this Honorable come, then this Honorable Council and say there is a good initiative for develop this school for Breda. So the people will really appreciate them we as a community. Because this thing now for children unborn, for the benefit of the people that make them can create this thing. So we say for give government thanks and praise because for the effort they don't can do. We really appreciate them for the effort and the Clapton community from where SLP is on power. We deal with peace. They bring peace and with life and up to now they enjoy the peace. So they pray that let God give and depart the wisdom and understanding for all the people that well by this country. Okay. We give thanks and praise.
To be very honest, this one emanates from His Excellency the President Dr. Julius Madabio, because the flagship program now on education, and then the Honorable Member of Parliament for this constitution, Diman Fitse, for getting support to the President in flagship program. How you go about doing that? It involve people with now all students of the school, and it involves stakeholders, it involves people that way developmental, way gets development that they mind for coming and try to see that they transform Aberdeen Municipal Junior Secondary School. But on the whole, it starts from the Honorable Member of Parliament and then it brings some people on board. Looking back to the facilities that we get, we've been the young for going to a one-shift system, but the population of the school not give a chance for now exist as a single-shift school. Yes, but we they operate on a 2-shift because of the population of the school. We never accommodate both the DSS and the primary school. So the existence of this structure
again for bring a remarkable change in Aberdeen Municipal Junior Secondary School. I dey look at two folds. One is that it go able at least give we that kind of enabling environment where we go able to operate in a single shift system, because already we don't get the structure available for that. Then future plans go there for establish a senior secondary school here, because we get the structure for it. Yes, we just need a support from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, the Teaching Service Commission, the Freetown City Council, and also stakeholders within the environment for camp for support the Honorable, so that at least we will actualize this wonderful dream we get. We already done the actualize.
Youth Rise for Rural Development, Empowerment and Peace Building has organized an engagement meeting with stakeholders of Bassett Town community to help them understand fully the three gender act laws of the country. And the Bestman report.
Sierra Leone operates under three sets of law: formal law, customary law, and Muslim law. The three gender acts, the Domestic Violence Act, the Devolution of Estate Act, and the Registration of Customary Marriage and Divorce Act provided protection to women under all three types of law. Speaking during the meeting, the executive director of the organization, Adams Kamara, said the engagement meeting is to raise the awareness of the people of Bassett Town in Waterloo to understand the three gender act laws of the country, noting that by way of popularizing the three gender act, he intends to replicate short efforts to other communities in the Western Area Rural District.
For sexual harassment, for rape. So that thing they are all we supposed to know them. The battle about 5 laws then. The last one at the SOA, Sexual Offences Act, we enact. They were all very important, but we alone generally, we want to add something, go put on the book. We don't ever say again. Because we know the real, we know the big for them to understand. We don't have the social media pass how they read books there. For them able to explain the laws of this land in America, England, any also you go, they need the constitution. Begin self, they know the constitution. They don't understand what the law say. But we in Sierra Leone, the beginner they will understand. And even the possible they will deal with the law, they know they also even understand. But that makes some charges and the way they can get a national interest. They will say they charge this person with this kind of a charge, or they just take one act na the constitution. You will see people that begin that.
The assistant director in the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs in Waterloo, Mark Sam Goba, further explained the relevance of the meeting and called on all to be cooperative and report cases of gender breach to the family support unit.
Of course, the director don't say plenty things about putting our opinion on top of it. It ran me useless now because we said we have to don't talk all. So as a still talker, few things they were still talk were very important. From the whole I watched the invitation, say promoting the rights of sexual gender-based violence. Also, most times when they perpetrate violence or when they cause violence against kill them, woman them, and even man them, when they go for them kind of cases they day, or how for even go about her can be problem. We don't get cases in the past. Now I asked for Bassett police station. Immediately money coffee, the woman gives one pikin, 3-year-old pikin, one man. The man, the pikin that the man, the lack of the man. In the funeral, now carry time. He don't know what for do. Now one woman say, "Oh, what will he get? Can I go reports?" When he reach that Bassett police station, as they ask, I say, "How you come?" Now you know go. How you come? That's the question. How you come? You know where to go. Well, they actually misunderstand the police now. Thank God police now. I'm not going to talk much. Yeah, because of that simple know-how of how for
representative of the family support unit of the Bassett Town Police Station, Detective Police Constable Abdul Aziz Kagbo, explained the three gender act laws and highlighted their consequences should there be any breach of any while. He encouraged participants to report all cases of sexual penetration and rape to any police station for proper investigations.
And you open a book, you read lines there. And book you read, and that's where you capture. That's where you grab something. If you left the book there, when you read that, that's where you capture. But put it inside there. Which are they? Then let's get your books there. You see management now to explain details about everything they are already there. That's all of the your books there. When you don't pass. Then they look at so that they make the answer feel. So if you read more, you get to understand. Putting actually the book they try to tell you. It's like you know therefore the guy in the talk as well. Who say you go 6 months people phone? No way. Now you will say if you have 1 month twice, you forget phone. What is your manual game phone? Because I don't know manage mobile phone. So but if you read, when you pass, you deserve a knowledge. Open beginning in a still they try to put on. Therefore, get 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, give them to the lecturer. What most thing you will achieve? All of them see that people have paid us. We have no responsibility. The person you put at school, the responsibility is for the reading book continues. So then when the teacher is teaching you understand, so that you will improve our work. And now we can call the officer here.
The Domestic Violence Act is the first formal law in Sierra Leone to address domestic violence prior to the passing of the Three Gender Act. Domestic violence could be prosecuted under the Offences Against the Persons Act of 1861 as wounding or grievous bodily harm. But domestic violence was not a criminal offense in itself. In 2006, there was only one. Andrew Bestman reporting.
And with that, we end today's news bulletin. That's all we have for you in the news file. Many thanks for watching. I am Leonora Jawala. Do stay with us for more interesting programs coming up.